The Ag Minute on This Week in Louisiana Agriculture is brought to you by your Louisiana propane dealers. Fuel for our future.
In addition to a host of wonderful speakers and fresh food samples, the Farm to Table Symposium had an incredible selection of cookbooks at their pop-up bookstore. Today's cookbooks are a staple in the kitchen, and I'm sure you own at least one, whether you use it or not. But did you ever stop to think, where did the cookbook come from? And where would our dinner table be without it today?
Centuries ago, before virtual pinboards and food blogs ever existed, cooks actually had to hit the books to find a recipe.
People have been making notes about recipes and their food for as long as there's been writing.
Liz Williams is a New Orleans author and founder of the Southern Food and Beverage Museum. She says the evolution of the cookbook shows how our food has changed through the years.
There are changes in technology that you can find by reading the same recipe in different years.
One of those changes, the invention of the printing press.
Once things didn't have to be hand copied, it was a lot easier and they became a lot more popular. In the mid-19th century, the community cookbook was invented, and that was invented by ladies who were trying to raise money for people who'd been injured in the war. And of course, if you're selling it within the community and so has the best banana bread, and you get that person's recipe, then you're really excited to buy the cookbook. It really created a special kind of cookbook that we still see today, which is a snapshot of a special time and place.
In the 20th century, a more scientific recipe transformed the cooking process.
Measuring the food so that it would come out the same way every time, and that if you tried it or somebody else tried it, it would be more replicable. So that's when instead of a pinch, you'd find a quarter teaspoon, or instead of a glass, it would be a cup, and a cup meant 8 ounces. So I think that to follow how it's changed into today's cookbook is really kind of interesting. And of course now cookbooks have wonderful photographs. People often buy their cookbooks just for reading and they don't even cook out of them. So yeah, it's really changed a lot.
Williams says today's cookbooks not only show ingredients, but they also tell a story.
How to serve it, something about the ingredients that you might not have known. And sometimes that's really a farm-to-table story. Like, this is how these things grow. And once they're grown, then you can do this with them or that with them. And older cookbooks didn't do that at all. They were just there to tell you how to make a recipe, and bring it to the table. And today, I think people want the whole story. They want to know how it got farmed, how it was fished, or whatever happened to it, and what do I do with it once I get it in my kitchen? How do I transform this into something I can eat?
So what's your favorite cookbook? Mine is the classic Cotton Country Collection cookbook. Some of my favorite recipes from my grandmother and my mother's kitchen all came from this same book. So I guess it holds a very nostalgic, special value to me. Well, now it's time for Twilight Trivia. Last week's question was, watermelon is a good source of which antioxidant? And the correct answer is C, lycopene. This week's Twilight Trivia is, which famous rock star wife also wrote and published her own cookbook? Is it A, Courtney Love, B, Sharon Osbourne, or C, Linda McCartney? To enter this week's Twilight Trivia contest, simply log on to your Facebook or Twitter account and post your answer with the hashtag Twilight Trivia. Or you can always submit your answer on our website at twilatv.org. And if you choose the correct answer this week, you'll have a chance to win a great prize pack from the Farm to Table Conference with one of these amazing cookbooks inside. Well, still to come on This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, what do cattle prices have to do with your grocery bill? Neil Melanson gives us that in the bottom line up next. Stay with us.